Welcome to another episode of Behind the Schemes, where we get to see and learn what makes people tick, how they overcome adversity, how they motivate themselves, and all the good they do in the community and in their lives to really just benefit themselves, benefit the community, benefit everyone else around. I'm your co-host, Danny Wright. This is my wonderful mother, Kenice Middleton, is about to kick us off with our next special guest.
Hi, everybody. And speaking of the awesomeness of people that help the community and just help people in general, we are so blessed to have Anthony Dongfack with us, who is the founder and CEO of Golden Goals. But not just that, he is also the owner and provider of a community service corporation, institution, organization that specializes in swipes for meal plans. When you think about college, for all of our college listeners and viewers that have meal plans that they don't use, and what happens to all those unused swipes that go untouched for people that need meals. Anthony has created and solved a problem where he's received a grant from 2016 and has capitalized on that and is really helping the community. So can't wait to hear more about that. Can't wait to hear more about his secret sauce and how he manages and juggles these businesses. Anthony, please share with us your secret sauce and how you got started and all the goodness that you have to say there.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Well, yes,
Good.
thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on. I love the energy. Yes, my name is Anthony Dongfack. Thank y'all so much for introducing me and having me on the show. But yeah, how I got started. So Golden Goals, essentially, the way it got started was I've always kind of had an eye for helping out folks when it comes to like resumes and LinkedIn, things like that. Just kind of seeing the value that people have, and it may not necessarily be shown on paper, but they're talking about what they're passionate about. They're talking about what they've done in the past, and I'm like, yo, you could say this a lot better. Or, yo, you understand this, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I knew you're dope, but the paper's not saying that. So let's work on that. You know what I'm saying? But I did that as favors for like friends in college, just on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a business, it wasn't anything like that. I was just being nice, just help people out. I wanted to see people succeed. So when the pandemic hit and I had a job offer for like it was a BU related job. I was staying in like the BU network and I was gonna get to stay on campus. So I had a job offer for that, and then that job offer got rescinded. So I was like, okay, well I don't have any plans for the summer or for like the going on after graduation. What am I gonna do? So I ended up going back home and stay with my parents for a little bit while everything was just getting crazy. I was like, what am I gonna do for income? Like I don't have anything that I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? And then I realized after like some late night thinking that I've been doing this skill, this service that people pay for, and I didn't realize people paid for it until like I kind of just like I was on Instagram, I saw a post, they were like, hey, leverage your skills that you don't know that you're actually using. And I'm like, oh, I've been doing this, and it helps people. Like people will come back to me like, hey, like this really helped me get this job or this position, or my resume looks great now. But like I was doing that for free and I have no problem with that. But I was like, hey, that's an opportunity for me to brand myself and brand a whole entire business model based on what I'm already good at. And I've been doing it because right now I basically have 2 years of experience. I've been doing it for free, so I've already built up that kind of like a clientele, that skill base, and I'm just going to turn it into a business. And that's how Golden Goal started.
I absolutely love that. I know Dang is running to ask you a question, but I got to just say, I want to pause for all the people that are watching. You are doing something for free that you can be getting paid for. So
everyone
that is what Anthony
did.
And that is just, can I just applaud that, because there's so many, and it's nothing wrong with doing things for free. We want to help people. We want to help our community, but you have something very special that is a gift, and it could be lucrative. And it sounds like you recognize that and decided to move on it. So that's just fantastic.
Thank you.
Funny thing is, we all, in some context, do things for free, whether it's for friends, whether it's for family, whether it's for colleagues, coworkers. We're all providing some type of transaction and some type of service, and on a very non-transactional way, and a lot of times people associate entrepreneurship with just having a business, but when you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you often don't realize how to apply those same principles of how you're doing things for free to building a brand, right? It's a transition from doing things for free, getting a little bit of side money, to now having a brand around what you're doing for people in an applied practice. And so, man, I want to salute you for recognizing that on your own, especially being so young and being able to develop a business in that same context, to be able to really support yourself and build a brand, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing or what you've done. So let me ask you this then. Obviously, with you being able to go from free services to getting money for your services to now having a business, having a brand, what are the skill sets that have transcended across all three of those different areas for you that helped you become successful?
Well, honestly, one of the most important skill sets, it's not even really a hard skill. It's a soft skill. It's listening and really just diving into conversation. I think when we think about, resume writing and career counseling and professional development, it's like a very business type of vibe to it. It's very professional. It's very, okay, we need to do X, Y, Z. We need to get this right. We need to get this right. We need to fix this. But it's like, hey, remember that your resume, your LinkedIn profile, all those things that you're talking about, your past history, your past job, your past education, that's your storyline. That's literally like how you got from point A to point B to point whatever point you're trying to get to, whatever company or position that's going to be. So I try to make it a lot more conversational and really just make it a very personal experience. And that kind of comes from where I started at, where it was just like having a conversation with friends. It's like, hey, it's a lot easier to talk about your resume and your LinkedIn when you're just talking about, hey, what's this right here? Okay, you were an assistant at CVS with to the supervisor. Okay, cool. You were the assistant supervisor. Okay, what were you doing? You may have thought you were just looking around and making sure everything was organized, but you were actually managing $30,000 worth of equipment. That's a lot of responsibility right there, and you're showing that. You could show that metric right there, because when a recruiter or an employer sees that, they're like, okay, I can trust this person as a potential employee with this level of budget or this level of equipment or this level of responsibility. So it's just all about how you word it and you're speaking about your experiences. Things like having a summary versus an objective and being able to speak on who you are as a professional, what you have to offer, really knowing what skills match the job description that you're applying to and being able to speak on that. Because when you just talk about your experiences and what you did, there's those key words that I'm looking for as I'm talking to you, just, person to person, human to human. I'm looking for them and I'm writing them down, or I'm, taking my notes on my laptop. I'm like, okay, they're talking about this skill, this skill, this skill, and this skill, but they don't know they have those skills. We're gonna talk about that, put that on paper. So it's really just listening and hearing their story out, and just realizing that they're a person with a story and their story has so much value that they might not even realize until they just really talk about it and get into it. And then you bring that out and you put it on paper or you put it on that profile, and it looks so much better. And that's really the most across the board. That's the most important skill, is just having that active listening ability and just really just talking it out.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you are helping to market sort of the difference between your resume self and your LinkedIn self, because a lot of people don't focus on LinkedIn as an entry into who you are and how businesses really pay attention to that. And sometimes they see that before they even see your resume too, and that you are helping people kind of hone in on that. I'm wondering, are there things from your childhood that you bring into how you navigate business today, things that you either learned from your parents or were taught, or do you have anything like that that helps you navigate business today?
For that, honestly, not exactly the business itself, but the purpose. At the end of the day, I'm thinking, I'm creating something that is not only going to help me, but it's also going to help my family, not only currently, but my family to come. So I wasn't necessarily taught that having a business is the way to go, or you got to have XYZ side income. You have to make sure that you're setting yourself up for financial freedom, or you're just setting yourself up for a legacy. I wasn't taught those things. It was just, hey, go to college, get a job, and move forward that way. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer, be one of those things. Get you a salary, right? That was what I was taught. That's what I was growing around. That's what I grew up around. So I didn't know anything else. So when it
Yeah.
came to actually doing my own research and then, you know, going on the internet and going on YouTube and going on Instagram and going on, you know, and actually leveraging the social media that a lot of us just kind of just are on passively, just looking at memes and all that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's like there's a whole other section of this entire database of information that's actually very helpful and very influential if you tap into it. So I started tapping into it in my boredom. I tapped into it, and I just learned so much. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that the 1% does not tell us about, and the school
Uh-huh.
system does not tell us about. And I'm
Yep.
tapping into information, and I'm just like, wow, okay, maybe these are some things that I should start implementing because they can be very helpful for my family to come, and it's going to put me in a position to be able to provide more than I already would have for my future kids, for my future wife, for my friends, for my day one friends that I still hang out with. You know what I'm saying? Anyone that really needs help around me that I'm because I mean, me personally, I'm a very, you know, very generous person. I'm always like donating to charity when I really don't have money, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm always like, you know, trying to help this person out with this money when I don't have money myself. So it would be really nice if I actually had the foundation to be able to support that personality of myself when it comes to my
Yeah.
finances, because you never know. I mean, you at the end of the day, something I had to realize is that job security is a myth. And like you
Yep.
can be in a job 10, 15, 20 years, but it only takes a snap decision or a few budget cuts to cut you off. And
Right.
then you're stuck out of a job, you're stuck out of income, and your income directly relates to your bills, your housing, your car, like everything. You know, so when you have something that you can back up on and you can have that safety net, which I actually found out the hard way because I actually got laid off a few months ago because of COVID-19 budget cuts. They
Yeah.
were like, oh, we don't need the Boston team anymore. We're good over here in New York because it's a remote job, and I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just
Right.
started focusing on the business full time while applying for more jobs. And I was like, wow, I have this cushion. I'm able to still keep up with my rent, keep up with my bill because I have the business to back up on. I wouldn't have had that if I didn't already think this way. But I tapped
Yeah.
into that information last year, and now I'm on a whole different level. So yeah, just you know, making sure that I'm creating that foundation for, you know, my future kids so they can kind of think this way. They don't have to have a business, you know what I'm saying? But to be able to know that that's a resource and that's something you can do, and that's also
Yes.
something that can provide for you if you're not going to do it. That's what I want for my future and for the people around me that I care about.
Yeah, what people don't realize, man, and you hit it on the head, is it's knowledge is wealth. And
Mm.
it's very clear that you have invested in your own wealth by, you know, diving into books, TED Talks, and just learning. How old are you?
I'm 22.
Man, 22. That's what I'm saying, man. Like you
Right.
you get you got the you got the
22?
game at you got the game at
22?
22, man. You got the game at 22. So
I'm
so
telling you,
tell me,
what a
man, I
wise
mean,
man.
what
I'm
advice
telling
what
you.
advice would you give what advice would you give your younger self? Because you already know so much at this age.
Man, honestly, it's kind of corny when I say this sometimes, but it's really don't listen to the haters. I think I
Mm.
listen to a lot of the naysayers and the haters and the negative talk when I was a lot younger because I was very impressionable and I always wanted to kind of
Yes.
try my best to fit in and to please other people. But at the end of the day, you're not out here. You're not doing multiple hours of schoolwork to please your friends. You're not doing multiple hours
Hmm.
of job work to please whoever. You're trying to do this for you, for your living, for your family, and for whoever that you take care of. So at the end of the day, like, don't listen to the people that are not looking out for the best for you and don't actually support you in your future. And I did too much of that when I was young. I listened to the bullies. I listened to the girls that didn't actually care about me. I listened to the guys that weren't actually my friends. And it's just like, yo, y'all matter, but y'all don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
worry about yourself. Worry about your real peoples. You know what I'm saying? And just and don't listen to the people that are talking negatively on you because either they're jealous or they don't know what they're talking about and they just trying to, take something out on you that they're struggling with. You know what I'm saying? And that's their own situation, but don't let that affect you. I let that affect me way too much, and that eventually I got to a point where I got over that and I was like, yo, I know who I am. I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna listen to the negative talk. But if I had gotten to that sooner, it would put me in probably a much farther in a position of much more advanced than I'm at now.
Well, I'm gonna say there's still a lot of people that are trying to figure that out right now that have not
Sure.
learned that lesson. So at 22,
Sure.
I mean, you just are so wise. You said so much that I promise you at 35, 40, people are still trying to figure, and not to knock them because everybody has their own path, but
Right.
it's just, I think it's just such a huge blessing that you are where you are at still such a young age. I know for you, you're probably like, I still have a ton I want to do and to go and all that. But I mean, you've learned so many valuable lessons already. And so I want to know, what do you feel, what has been your greatest accomplishment to date that you feel, the most proud about of all the things that you've done and have been doing?
Honestly, just my community service work, and I kind of touched on that before we started, but
Yeah, tell us more about that, because I want to make sure people get, because we literally just found out about that, so I want everybody else to know about that. So please share about that.
Yes, I'm a very community oriented person, and so I actually started a community service group that to this day I'm very proud of and very very happy to see the way it succeeded. It's called Swipes for Boston, and it was founded in the school year 2016-2017 when I started at Boston University, and I got a grant from Santander Bank and our community service center in collaboration for $3,000. I had applied to it after a mentor recommended to me, and essentially what the group does is it takes dining hall swipes, all the 50 to 100 to 150 swipes that students semester to semester to semester are not using, you're not eating, and they're not utilizing, are going to waste. All those dining dollars, all those convenience points, all those university bucks, whatever the currency may be called at their university, they're going to waste. And there's so many people that are either in the area or just in general that could be utilizing those resources. So I was like, okay, what's the solution? Why not use, because we had a service, and a lot of universities do have this service where you can just take you can order it online, or you can put in an order somewhere, and you can actually take a meal outside of the dining hall as like a non-perishable, like brown bag lunch, something like that. So we would gather those up, maybe like every 3 weeks. We would do it continuously, and then after 3 weeks we would go out into Boston and we would give it out to people that were experiencing homelessness. And then we did that on a regular basis every single semester. Um, it's been 5 years now. The group is still active. I'm kind of moving away from it, but I am like doing operational stuff like from the back end, because we're trying to keep it growing and make sure it's sustainable. Because with COVID-19, and I was studying abroad one semester when it was like in its early stages, so it was on hiatus for a bit. But I'm just trying to make sure that it stays active and it's able to be sustainable after I'm gone or I'm just out of the picture. So, but it's been very successful. I mean, we've impacted and given out food to hundreds of folks, and they've been very appreciative. And the interactions were always great. Were always good, very genuine. We tried not to, what I'm saying, we weren't the types to like, take pictures or nothing like that. It was just really just human to human interaction. We were just there for the cause, and we're just getting it done. And that was probably one of the most things, probably one of the things I'm most proud of. And I kind of took that energy into Golden Goals, because I do try to make it a little bit community service oriented. Some of our social media posts on our stories are community service oriented, or I'll go to community service events in the area with my Golden Goals apparel, and I'll be like, hey, I'm representing Golden Goals. I'm just a guy who's there, but like I'm trying to put that mindset and that into the mission and the core values. Like, hey, we're here to serve people at the end of the day.
I love that. And Anthony, I know we're almost at time, but I do want to ask a question before we wrap up, because I want to make sure people know where to find you, follow you, and any information you want to share about how people might be able to do that. Your company, Golden Goals, I know it's Boston. You're in Boston. I know that's your area, but you service whomever, however. Is it so you can? I just want to make sure people know this is not just a Boston-owned company. If you need help and you are in Alaska or Hawaii or DC, this is the man that can help you bring your resume to life and your best self to life on paper when you are looking for a job. So Thank you so much, Anthony, for being here with us. I mean, you are an amazing
Appreciate you,
talent.
man. Yeah.
And we are just hopeful that all the goodness that you're putting out into the world comes back to you tenfold. So we're really just happy to know you and make your acquaintance. Please tell us how people can find you, follow you, and any information you want to share on your social media.
Yes, they could follow us on the Instagram at Your Golden Goals. We're currently in the process of making a Facebook and expanding the Twitter, social media pages. But you can reach me personally. I am the founder and I'm the main career coach. We have a few other employees and freelancers, but when it comes to all the main stuff, you can just reach me personally. My email is amdongfack@gmail.com. You can text me 302-530-8875. I'll answer. We can get a session scheduled. There's also the link in our bio on our Instagram gets you to the schedule site right there, and you can just schedule yourself in whenever you're free, and we'll work that out the way we can. Yes, we do service globally. I mean, we've had clients in Korea, we've had clients in India, we've had clients in Canada, and all over the U.S. So yes, we do. I mean, we do tailor to U.S. Type resumes, but there have been folks all over different countries that are trying to get jobs in the U.S. and then we just tailor that the way we need to. So, absolutely.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here. And I just want to mention to people that are watching, you have amazing testimonials on your Instagram page as well. So people are curious about what people are saying about you. They can go there and see it. So thank you so much, Anthony. This has been a pleasure. It's just been wonderful to talk to you. So we wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much.
All right. And take good care.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Bye.